This is lesson 6, finding 100%, giving another percent. 42 students who play wind instruments represent 75% of the students who are in band. How many students are in band? So we have P, percent, and W. So we have our part is 42. Our percent then is 75. And we want to know how many are in the band. Because remember, it says of the students in the band. So we have P, percent, and W. So we have 42 equals 0.75 times X. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.75. And X is going to be 56. So we have 56 students. Are in the band. Next, we have Bob's Tire Outlet sold a record number of tires last month. One salesman sold 165 tires, which was 60% of the tires sold in the month. What was the record number of tires sold? So here we have P, percent, and W. So we have 165. And we have 0.6 for the percent, and we have W as X. So now we have P equals percent times W, and we have 165 equals 0.6 times X. So divide both sides by 0.6. So we have X equals 275. So 275 is the record number of tires sold. The next question, we have Nick currently has 7,200 points in his fantasy baseball league, which is 20% more than or more points, and that's important, than Adam. How many points does Adam have? Well, we have part, percent, and W. Well, Nick currently has 7,200. Because Adam, he has 20% more than Adam. Adam is 100%, and then Nick has 20% more, so that would be 120% or 1.2. And then our W is X. So we have P equals percent times W. So we have 7,200 equals 1.2 times X. So we are going to divide by 1.2. So our X is going to equal 6,000. So Adam has 6,000 points. Kurt has driven 276 miles of his road trip, but has 70% of the trip left to go. How many more miles does Kurt have to drive to get to his destination? Well, in this case, okay, we have P percent, and W. In this particular case, he's driven so far 276, but he still has 70% left to go, okay? So in this case, he's only driven 30%. That 276 is 30%. So it's that 100 minus the 70, which is 30. That's how far he's gone so far. So that's 0.3. So that's, we are looking, okay, what the total is that he's got to go. So that's P equals percent times W. So 276 equals 0.3 times X. So dividing both by 0.3, we have X equals 920. Now this is the total for the trip, okay? So what we have to do now is take the 920 and subtract 276. And that's going to give us 644 left to go. Our next problem, we have Derek had a batting average of .250 at the end of his last baseball season, which means that he got a hit 25% of the time that he was up to bat. So if Derek had 47 hits last season, how many times did he bat? What that means is, if we want to figure that out with our percent equation, we have P percent and W. Our part is 47. Our percent then is 25, which is 0.25. We want to know how many times was he at bat. So we've got P, percent, and W. So it's 47 equals 0.25 times X. So if we divide both sides by 0.25, we therefore have X equals 188. So Derek was at bat 188 times. Question number 5. Nelson used 35% of his savings account for a class trip in May. He used $140 from his savings account while on his class trip. How much money was in his savings account before the trip? So he spent 140, so we have P, percent, and W. So we have $140, and he used 35%, which is 0.35, and we want to know how much was in before the trip. So that being said, we have P, percent, and W. So we have 140 equals 0.35 times X. So if we divide both sides by 0.35, we have X equals 400. So therefore, there was $400 in Nelson's account. Before the trip. And this ends our lesson.